Listen, I don't know who needs to hear this, but there needs to be a certain set of guidelines here in the knife and EDC community, things that we can count on. If you agree, smack up the like button. Let me know in the comment section down below. How's it going, everybody? I'm Rollshambo, the connoisseur and collector of all things sharp and shiny. And today we're going to do something that I've avoided doing for quite a while. We're going to set some ground rules here because some of you are new, some of you are not new to this hobby, but it's getting out of hand. You see, there's been so many awesome new knives released here in 2023 that we're attracting a lot of newer people, and a lot of people that don't normally watch knife reviews are now watching knife reviews. And some of the comments that I see in the comment section are just ridiculous. Some people just don't know any better. Some people know better. They just don't care. Either way, we're going to do something today that I think is rather important. We're going to set the ground rules. Let's talk about the 10 EDC commandments.
The change, you filthy animal.
All right, guys, so this is actually a video that I've been wanting to do for quite a while. And I've avoided doing this because people are, well, I mean, they're people. And they like to have their opinions and they blow up the comment section and this, that, and the other. And, well, you get the gist of it. So we're just going to say screw it. And we're going to do it anyways because this is my channel and I do what I want. But to keep things fresh and interesting, as I go through each of these 10 commandments, I will be picking up a knife and, of course, showing it while I talk about the commandments. If you're interested in any of these knives that I end up showing while I go through this list, I will, of course, link it up above in the corner. Feel free to click out at any time and watch the reviews on these knives. A lot of people actually say that they don't see my uploads. Could be that they thought they were subscribed and they weren't. So if you enjoy this type of content, make sure you hit subscribe. Let's go ahead and get started. First and foremost, the first commandment is you shall refrain from using the term gas station knife. What do I mean when I say gas station knife? I mean that, have you ever been to a gas station? How many of them actually sell knives? Not many in my experience. In fact, not many at all. The exception would be those big truck stops where you see like the gift shops and they might have some knives there. The ironic part about that is that a lot of those knives that you see at those gas stations are from companies like Kershaw and Buck. However, when people say, oh, that's a gas station knife, typically they're referring to a knife that has some crazy design lines. Maybe it's got an out of this world pocket clip. Maybe it's got some etching on the handle scales, but almost every time that I hear that, it's about a knife that has been beautifully designed with amazing materials and is not cheap, and you would absolutely not find it at a gas station. Stop using that term. Please refrain from using the term gas station knife unless you have actually seen it at a gas station. For those of you who buy M-Tech knives, you know who you are. Commandment number 2. Opinions cannot be wrong. That's right. I've actually received plenty of comments on my channel where people say things like, you're wrong because of X, or that's not the best because of Y, or your opinion is just wrong. I don't know who taught you the English language, but in case you didn't know, opinions cannot be wrong. You can disagree with them, but they can't be wrong. If someone thinks that a knife is the best, and that's their opinion, and you disagree with them, welcome to America. You're welcome to that opinion, but their opinion is not wrong, and neither is yours for disagreeing with them. You just have a difference of opinion. The market likes to disagree with me all the time. For example, the microtech MSI and the Ramlock stitch MSRP for like 150, 250 bucks, and yet retailers sell them at $300-$400. I think that's too expensive. The market is constantly disagreeing with me because retailers continue to list them at that price. People continue to buy them. So, am I wrong? No, I just have an opinion. If you agree with it, awesome. If you disagree with it, awesome. We all have our opinions. Commandment number 3, thou shalt not scalp knives. To go along with commandment number 2, I'm of the strong opinion that knife scalpers are terrible for the market and they're terrible for the community. Knife scalpers, in case you didn't know, are the ones who wait for a drop of a knife they know is going to be popular, and through thievery, through technological advances, they find a way to buy 4 or 5 of a knife that is extremely limited, solely with the purpose of reselling. Now, some people might say, oh, I don't care, or you know what, it's just part of the hobby, part of the community. At least they're making knives available after the fact that would have gone to somebody else and not in my pocket anyways. But they're bad because what they do is they screw with the market. For example, if you look at a popular website like Southern Edges. Southern Edges does a drop every single Thursday at about 2:30 p.m., 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I think it's like 3 p.m. Central Time. And they're always dropping Hinderer knives. Now, these knives sell out immediately. I'm talking within 4 to 5 minutes. If you've been wanting a Hinderer XM18, check it out. Check out Southern Edges. Cool website. But they do these drops all the time and they sell out. Now, I don't have an issue with that. Those Hinderer knives are very popular. However, if you check eBay, you'll also notice that a lot of those knives that sell there are bought at the regular MSRP price and then resold for a couple $100 profit. I'm not against people making money, but that's just annoying. It's annoying because they're taking an available product and they're selling it for more to the people willing to pay more because they can't find it anywhere else, and they can't find it anywhere else because of knife scalpers. I don't care if you are someone that scalps knives for a profit. I hope you go sit on a pine cone. Commandment number 4. If you can't afford it, don't buy it. Don't ever feel like you're pressured to buy a knife. Buying a knife that your favorite knife reviewer says is amazing doesn't make you closer to them. It doesn't sit you at the cool table. It doesn't make you a part of some secret society. And it's not going to achieve something that one of your other 10, 20, 30, 40 knives can't achieve. I'm not saying don't continue to expand your collection. I'm also not saying, don't take advantage of situations where you can get something that you aren't normally able to get or know won't be available in the future. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is don't deprive your family of funds. Don't deprive yourself of things that you need, like food and shelter, so that you can get something sharp and shiny. This knife is actually a good example of that because this knife is currently available. I really, really want it, but I can't afford it. My knife budget is done for the month. I'm going to need to either save up or sell knives out of my current collection to be able to afford this, and I hope that it's available when I can, because if it is, I'm definitely buying it. I really like this one. But unfortunately, we have a credit culture right now where people find ways to buy things that they can't afford. And unfortunately, that is not a healthy habit to get into. As someone that's struggled financially in the past and has made plenty of bad financial decisions, trust me when I say, if you can't afford it, don't buy it. Find a way to afford it that allows you to buy it without sacrificing something that you need or something that your family needs, like food, shelter, electricity, gas, so that you can go to your job, save up, and then be able to buy whatever it is you want to buy. Be responsible. Yeah. Commandment number 5. Do not buy knives for clout. I don't know who needs to hear this and share this with a friend that does, but guys, buying a knife is not going to make you cool. Sometimes I feel like people buy knives simply so they can post photos and then get that validation from others online. I get it. I post videos, I ask for likes and subscribes, so in a way I'm asking for that validation, but I do it because I enjoy it and I want to see the channel grow. Many people will buy a knife, post it on Reddit, new knife day, check out my benchmade blah, blah, blah. And then be disappointed when it only gets, 10 thumbs ups, whatever. The best validation is when you buy a knife, you open it up out of the package, and you go, wow, I am so glad that I got this. This is awesome. An even better validation is when you're carrying it in your pocket later, maybe a week, a month, a year, whatever, and it turns out to be useful, and you're like, damn, this is why I bought this knife. I enjoy having it in my collection. I enjoy having it in my pocket. We all like validation, whether you're willing to admit it or not, but I'm here to tell you that whether or not your favorite knife reviewer thinks X about a knife, or whether or not you have an Instagram post that gets 5,000 likes or 5, don't do that. You will be disappointed. You'll end up spending a lot of money on knives that don't do anything, don't go anywhere, that you do not get enjoyment out of because they did not achieve X amount of social media clout. Buy knives because you think they're cool. Buy knives because you think they're useful or you want them as part of your collection, but do not buy knives for clout. Commandment number 6, always seek to educate first. And this is a rule that I have for myself on this channel. Always seek to educate first. Before you respond to a comment on a video with vehemence, before you go to tear someone a new one, because maybe they said that tip down carry is the way, and you just have to let them know how dorky that is. Seek to educate first. Don't just lay into people. Don't be a gatekeeper, an elitist, someone that feels like they're above others. If you know something that someone doesn't, if you see a comment on a Facebook group about knife sharpening that you very highly disagree with, don't be toxic. And the world would be a much better place if instead of criticizing and belittling others, we just decided to educate first. That's a rule for my channel. If I see you in my comment section tearing someone a new one instead of seeking to educate first, I'm just going to ban you. Commandment number 7, thou shalt understand the difference between using your knives and abusing them. Guys, first and foremost, knives as a general thing are tools. They are meant to be used. Even knives that are $2,000-$3,000, handmade, custom, 2-year projects. Those knife makers very rarely make their knives solely to be put in a case and do nothing. I feel like people generally understand this, that you're supposed to use your knives. However, that does not mean that you're cool because you beat the crap out of your benchmade bug out, left it out in the rain, put tape on the blade, and then left it there and took a photo to validate the fact that your knife looks like crap. If you have a knife to use as a tool, great. Knives are excellent tools. You never understand just truly how useful they are until you carry one every single day. Knives are getting expensive. Maintain them. A scratch on the blade, whatever. But if you're someone that leaves tape residue on your edge and then wants to complain about the edge retention of D2, if you're someone that never sharpens your knives, but only carries them, to fidget with, and listen, don't abuse your knives. Use your knives, absolutely, but maintain them. There's no reason why you can't oil the blade, why you can't sharpen the edge, why you can't clean the residue off of non-stainless blade material. There's no reason. I have this suspicion that what happens is people buy a knife and they're like, wow, look at that. That's amazing. And I just, and they buy it to be a tool, but they really do like the way that it looks. And then they take it out and they use it and they get a scratch on it. They're like, oh man. And then they go online and they're like, how can I remove this scratch from the finish on my knife? And then they get clobbered by the Use Your Knife crew. And people in response post these videos of highly abused knives. So I'm here to tell you, it's okay if you get a scratch on your knife. But after you get that first scratch, you don't have to abuse it. You don't have to be that person that takes their knife from looking beautiful to getting a scratch and then abusing the crap out of it just so that they can join that crew and be toxic and say things like, use your knife. So, well, look, this person obviously doesn't use their knife. Look how clean it is. What do you care if people use their knives or not? What do you care? I don't care. Use your knife, don't use your knife. Whatever you do, just maintain it. To go along with commandment number 7, if you do carry a knife, use it. But something that bothers the crap out of me is when I see people that carry knives and then they're faced with a task that that knife is perfect for, like cutting. But instead of using the knife that's in their pocket, they go elsewhere to find an implement to cut their problem with, like scissors. If you carry a knife and you have a need for it, use it. That's what it's there for. Congratulations, you were prepared. If you have a knife and you don't want to use it to solve problems that you face every day, I get it. Don't carry it. Carry a knife that you will use, because let me tell you something. You will learn a lot about your own knife preferences and what makes sense to you if you decide to use the knives that you carry. Not every knife should be carried if you're not willing to use it. That will reveal a lot about what you consider to be a safe queen and what you consider to be a knife that you can depend on every day. Commandment number 9, always carry a knife. You may have heard of rule number 9. It is incredibly useful to have a knife on you at all times because knives often solve problems that we don't anticipate having. You don't anticipate your car going over a cliff into a pond and you need to cut the seatbelt to get out of the car. We don't anticipate that. You don't anticipate someone trying to mug you when you go out to go about your day in broad daylight. You don't anticipate when a 4-year-old hands you an apple that needs to be cut up. You don't anticipate these things. That's what knives are great for. That's why you should always carry a knife, so that you're prepared for the things that you don't expect. That is extremely useful. Not to mention the things that you do expect. Maybe you carry a $10 Gerber knife because you work on a construction zone and you know that that thing is going to get beat up every single day. Whether you are preparing for it or not, you will be faced with problems in life that need something sharp and shiny to solve them. Always carry a knife. Lastly, have fun. Guys, if you're in this as a hobby, you're well past the point of just having it as a tool. If you watched all the way to this point, to the 10th commandment, without saying, you know what, screw Rollshambo, if you got this far, have fun. I do this for fun. I don't do this for work. This channel does not pay my bills. It does not keep the lights on, and neither does buying knives. It's actually quite the opposite. It's a financial detractor. If you're going to invest in this hobby because you enjoy it, don't forget to enjoy it. Don't forget to have fun. Don't forget that not every knife is for every person, and that even if we disagree on things, we can still enjoy the hobby together. People take this so seriously. I see comments all the time where people are just angry. They're angry at the reviewer's opinion. They're angry at the price of this. They're angry at the availability of this. There is so much joy and enjoyment to be had in the knife collecting, in the knife community in general. It's a damn shame if you don't take the time to enjoy it. Guys, let me know if you found this useful, if you found this entertaining, or if you just think that I'm ranting. That's fine too. I wanted to do something a little bit different today. I wanted to show some knives that I recently made videos on. And I know many of you have probably clicked out within the first 6 minutes because that's how long people have attention spans for. According to YouTube, people usually click off within 6 minutes. So if you watch this far, do me a favor. Let me know who's actually watching my entire videos and post your favorite commandment that I went over in the comment section down below. Also, check to see if you're subscribed, because if you did enjoy this and you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. Guys, if you want to see more awesome knife content, make sure to click the video that pops up next.